Hello and welcome into College Football Daily News and Rumors Roundup edition. Let's get straight to it. The first little tidbit we have for you is Ohio State now the #1 recruiting class in the nation. Well, that is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. We're giving that one 4 CFP logos. Ohio State did just pass Georgia just recently when the new player composite rankings were adjusted. Most notably, Brian Snead and Tyreek Johnson both jumped over 80 spots. Georgia is likely to add at least one more 5-star to go with the outrageous 6 5-stars it already has, and that is 5-star American Heritage cornerback Tyson Campbell. Ohio State expects to take a full class and has 3 spots currently open. 4-star Maryland offensive tackle Rasheed Walker and 4-star California receiver Chris Olave are among their top remaining targets. At any rate, one of these schools will most likely finish with the highest ranked class, and it will probably be the first time in 7 years that Alabama, who is currently ranked 6th in the nation, doesn't finish at the top of the heap. But the Tide do have a perfect finish. It is quite possible they were finished first anyways, because life just is not fair. All right, let's move on to our second little rumor we have for you. Did Clemson land another top quarterback? Well, we're giving this one 3 CFP logos. This recently, over the weekend, Sam Howell just visited Clemson, and he had nothing but the highest regard to say about Dabo Swinney and his program. Howell said it was a good visit and I got a lot out of it. He told 24/7 Sports, "I learned more of what Clemson is really about, and it is just a very nice place. I enjoyed spending time with the coaches and their families. I've always had a lot of interest in Clemson, and after today, that has not changed. Clemson is officially one of my top schools." All right, guys, thanks for watching College Football Daily. I'm your host, Lena Bond. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at Lena Bond Sports. We have some more rumors and news to get through, and later we will be revealing Chat Sports' way too early 2018 rankings. But before we get to that, you might be wondering, what are all these CFP logos and what do they mean? Well, let me tell you. So 0 CFP logos means fake news, okay? 1 CFP logo, we're saying there's a chance. 2 CFP logos, people are talking. 3 CFP logos means it's pretty likely, and 4 CFP logos means it's a fact. Let's get into our third bit of rumor and news. Is a top wide receiver recruit gonna play defensive back? Well, this is a 4 CFP logo. This is a fact, you guys. Just recently, one of the top wide receiver recruits in the nation, he's a 4-star, just said that he wants to switch the defensive back position. And that is Marquez Beeson from Dallas, Texas, the 83rd ranked recruit in the country. He was first considered to be one of the best receivers, but decided to become a defensive back and is now considered to be one of the top corners in the country. Good for him. He recently said, "I am fully committed to being a defensive back. I came out here to sharpen my skills and I keep getting at it. I feel like I have so much to bring to the table as a defensive player." Multiple schools, including Texas, have re-offered Beeson a scholarship to play defensive back. All right, next rumor we have for you guys, number 4, is an old quarterback turned baseball player gonna play college football once again. Well, not necessarily. We're giving this one 1 CFP logo. It is just a rumor. So this kid right here, he's a cool story. He signed with Texas A&M in 2013, but never spent a day on the Aggies campus. The 4-star prospect was drafted by the Minnesota Twins with a 4th selection in that year's baseball draft and promptly started his journey that summer to make his way through the baseball ranks. However, despite being good for the first 4 years in his minor league career, he ran into a series of injury issues in 2017. There have been rumors that he might want to come out of baseball and perhaps take a shot at college football, and he would be following the steps of players such as former FSU quarterback Chris Winkie and Oklahoma State quarterback Brandon Weedham. 24/7 Sports reported last week that he has been admitted to Texas A&M for the spring semester, but he is not going to play college football. Stuart told TwinCities.com that it is not happening. I've noticed my phone's been blowing up. I've seen the rumors. It's funny, but I can say there's nothing to it. Let's get into our next bit of information. Brian Kelly. Now, did he interview with an NFL team? That is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. We're giving that 4 CFP logos. He interviewed with the Chicago Bears and mulling over the idea of moving to the NFL. According to rosterwatch.com, Kelly has been looking for a way out and told a source that the site he interviewed was the Chicago Bears head coaching job. Kelly has been at the head coach of Notre Dame since 2010, and he's gone 69-34 as their head coach and 4-3 in bowl games. In 2012, he took his team to the BCS championship game but was blown out by Alabama. And prior to his run at Notre Dame, he went 34-6 at Cincinnati in 4 seasons and 19-16 in 3 years at Central Michigan. All right, next little bit of rumor. Hugh Freeze, is he remorseful over his private sin. Yeah, we're giving this one 4 CFP logos. Just recently, Hugh Freeze was at Liberty College. He was speaking. It was his first public appearance since resigning last July. And he called his private sin and said he was very, very apologetic and hoped to finish well after this. Speaking Wednesday during a chapel service at Liberty University, he said that his world got rocked in 2017 when the discovery of the call made to a female escort service led to his ouster for what Ole Miss officials termed to be a pattern of personal misconduct. The talk was streamed live on the school's Facebook page. And in the aftermath, get this, he told his Christian faith was a solid rock for his foundation and he hopes to turn back to it. All right, guys, 6 rumors down. Let's get to the next one. Was there a big decommit for Maryland? Well, that is the case. We're giving this one 4 CFP logos. It just was released last night that Noah Boykin, a 4-star cornerback from Woodson High School in Washington, D.C., decommitted from Maryland last night. And who was the front runner for Boykin? The Florida Gators. Boykin recently visited Florida last weekend and gave the trip rave reviews, saying everything was real and that the coaches and players erased any concerns or reservations he had about the program. Florida followed that up by sending coaches to Boykin's school on Wednesday to attend his basketball game. It was a power move by Florida and likely influenced his decision to back off the Maryland pledge after the game. Earlier this month, Boykin received an in-home visit from Florida coach Dan Mullen and 3 assistants. Boykin plans to commit on National Signing Day and listed Florida, Maryland, Notre Dame, and Virginia as his finalists on Wednesday. All right, next little tidbit of information. 4-star wide receiver to Ohio State. Well, we're giving this one 3 CFP logos. So Chris Olave, I just talked about recently, 4-star wide receiver, announced his commitment date for Sunday, January 29th on Twitter, and he listed his top 4 schools as UCLA, USC, Utah, and Ohio State. With him being a California kid, it isn't a surprise that 3 Pac-12 schools made the cut for his Final Four, but those schools may have been on the outside looking in, as a 24/7 Sports predicts that Olive is in favor of Ohio State over the other 3 schools. All right, next one we have for you guys in our rapid rumors and news roundup for college football. Florida to visit the home of a top prospect. Well, we're giving this one 4 CFP logos. This is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. After spending a few days out west, the Florida Gators offensive line coach John Hevesy has expected to visit Florida 5-star offensive tackle Nicholas Petit-Ferrer on Wednesday, a source confirms with GatorBait.net. The 6'6", 272-pounder is fresh off an official visit to Bama this past weekend, which went well from all accounts. The in-state Gators will host Petit-Ferrer and his mother and hope to pitch a mix of strong academics, as well as a chance for him to make an impact early and often on the field, just a few hours away from home. All right, guys, that was our rapid news and rumors roundup. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get to now that top 25 we were talking about. And at number 25 are the Texas Longhorns. Now, they did lose 6 games in Herman's first season. Slightly disappointing, but there are a lot higher expectations for this team moving forward. At 24, you see South Carolina, followed by Mississippi State, Florida State, who's under new head coach Willie Taggart, and then my Oregon Ducks coming in at number 21. I have them being a sleeper team in the Pac-12 this season. Justin Herbert, their junior quarterback, did miss the majority of last season with a broken collarbone, and I expect him and Mario Cristobal to make a huge impact in the Pac-12 North. All right, let's move on to our next list of teams. Coming in at number 20, we have West Virginia, followed by UCF, who is undefeated and the self-declared national champions. Number 18, we have USC. Losing Sam Darnold's going to hit them hard. It is hard to see what they're going to be able to do to make up his performance on the field. At 17, we have TCU, followed by the LSU Tigers. All right, let's get to our next top list. Michigan comes in at number 15. Now, they could be a top 10 school, and that all relies on Shea Patterson and whether or not he's going to be able to get his eligibility to be able to be on the field for the Wolverines next season. At 14, we have Virginia Tech, followed by Stanford, who it actually gets to keep Bryce Love. That is huge for this team. I would not be surprised if they bump into the top 10 here very soon with him deciding to stay for his final year. Then we have the Washington Huskies, who do have Jake Browning coming back. Didn't have a great season last year, but is really hoping to make that up in his final year with the Huskies, and then followed by Notre Dame. Let's take it into the top 10 now. We have Penn State, followed by Auburn. Michigan State, who's favored to be a really big contender in the Big Ten this year, followed by the Baker Mayfield-less Oklahoma Sooners, and then the Miami Hurricanes. All right, let's get into our top 5. And coming in at number 5 is Wisconsin. Now, Jonathan Taylor, we all have high expectations for him. He broke Adrian Peterson's freshman rookie rushing record this season, and I expect him to be nothing but better next year. At number 4, we have the Georgia Bulldogs with Jake Fromm. And coming in at number 3, we have Ohio State. Now, they do have the number 1 recruiting class, and they could have a lot of new recruits on the field next season, making a difference for them. Coming in at number 2 is Clemson, and they lost to the team that is number 1 on our list earlier that year, and that is the Alabama Crimson Tide. Huge rivalry there. Alabama with Tua Tagovailoa. We have high expectations for that kid. All right, guys, that's all the time I have for you today. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at Lena Bond Sports, and I'll see you next time.